Let's get into this. Scientologist Danny Masterson, his rape trial ends in a mistrial, and David Miscavige served with human trafficking lawsuit. Now, you know that Danny Masterson is part of the Church of Scientology, and he's a Scientologist with the Church of Scientology, and he played in that 70s show. Now, the jurors just could not agree on the charges to convict, and so Danny Masterson will have to return to court to resolve his rape case after a judge declared a mistrial in November. On Wednesday, Deputy District Attorney Reinhold Mueller denied a request to throw the case away and confirmed there will be a mistrial. Jurors were deadlocked in debate after the weeks-long trial came to a close on November 30th. Opening statements were read October 18th, and Mueller described alleged accounts of the woman becoming woozy and passing out before regaining consciousness to find Masterson having sex with them. So Danny Masterson will be retried, and there will be a retrial, and I will keep you posted on that whenever that information is available. And then we have David Miscavige. He is the leader of the Church of Scientology. Now, the former church members accuse him of forcing them into the organization as kids and making them work for little to no pay into adulthood. Despite his efforts, Sneed has now issued an order officially declaring him served in the case. Many of the accusations come from when the plaintiff spent working on the Free Winds, a Caribbean cruise ship that hosts high-level Scientology officials. Now, attorneys for the plaintiff tried to serve Miscavige with court documents 27 times at 10 locations in Clearwater, Florida, and Los Angeles, and documents mailed to the Church of Scientology were lost or returned to sender. The plaintiffs are saying they signed the arbitration agreements under duress. Now, these accusers, they are really asking for money. It's a civil suit, and I want you all to be clear, to understand clearly that it is a civil suit that they are asking for. They are not asking for a criminal suit, and which is really interesting because I always think that if someone has harmed you in any kind of way, why have you not filed police reports so that if the person or people or persons has harmed you, they can be held accountable, and if found to be guilty, that will keep other people right, or hopefully prevent other people from being harmed by that person's or individual's actions or person's actions, right? So to get an opportunity to file a civil suit, that's about money. Because if you really were harmed, in my opinion, why haven't you filed a criminal suit that you were forced to work, without pay, and and they were children at the time, making them work for little or no pay, forced labor and things like that, and you have to be a certain age, to even work as a child. So if this is what was going on, why aren't there any criminal charges being actually filed by David Miscavige? However you pronounce his name, Miscavige. Oh no, Miscavige, excuse me. I just messed up this man's name, I'm sure. No offense to you. Some of these names, you look at them and you think you're pronouncing them, but there's a lot of different ways to pronounce names. So I'm not making any excuses for me, but I'm a pretty good name pronouncer, and so some of these names still get me because, again, I'm not perfect like anyone else. However, though, if this man has done those things, why aren't there criminal charges being filed instead of a civil lawsuit? Because when I originally read this article, I was like, human trafficking? But then it's actually a civil human trafficking suit, not a criminal at this point. So anyway, you all leave your comments below. Let me know what you think about these two individuals. David Miscavige is a leader of the Church of Scientology, and Danny Masterson is a Scientologist in the Church of Scientology. And so what do you think about these two cases in the Church of Scientology? Because, you know, they try to have their grievances resolved in the Church of Scientology under the arbitration agreement instead of, you know, in a court of law, you know, an actual court of law. And so people have signed arbitration agreements, such as in the Danny Masterson case. He was fighting that and stating that they had signed arbitration agreements, but the judge refused to allow that to be acknowledged and said, no, it's going to go to trial. He will be charged and he will be going to trial. And then in this case, they're using that same thing, that arbitration agreements were signed, but the judge is saying, no, consider you, David Miscavige, served, and you will have to go to trial and face the plaintiffs in the case of human trafficking, where they are saying that they were forced into the organization as kids and making them work for little or no pay into adulthood. So the judge is not recognizing, or he's recognizing, but he's not allowing them to resolve this under the arbitration agreement. So therefore, he will have to go to trial as well. So again, leave your comments below. Let me know what you think about these two people. And you know, there's other people that were part of that. Tom Cruise's ex-wife, Katie. And Tom Cruise is still part of it. And you know, Jada and Will Smith are still part of it. So there's a lot of key players of, you know, actresses and actors that are part of the Church of Scientology. And they get caught up in situations. They have some distorted views, because Jada Pinkett has some distorted views. I'm just going to say that. That's my opinion, you know, of that, with her and her craziness. Excuse me. So anyway, what do you all think about this whole thing with the Church of Scientology and what's going on in these arbitration agreements? Do you think they should be honored, or do you think the judges are within their discretion? Because, you know, there's the legalities, and so the judges, as long as they're following the law, right? But what do you think about this? Do you think they should be honored, or do you think that certain grievances should be honored under arbitration in the Church of Scientology? Or do you think that certain grievances, such as rape and, you know, and human trafficking, or forced labor of children and things like that, do you believe those are the ones that are warranted? The more severe, cases or accusations or allegations are warranted in the court of law versus trying to resolve it under the arbitration agreement? And do you also think that they are trying to protect their members by pushing their arbitration agreements up on church members and trying to resolve it at their own personal way? They're going to resolve it under the arbitration agreements. And do you think that they would be treated fairly under the arbitration agreements if they were allowed to be, worked out under the arbitration agreements, coming to some type of settlement? Do you think that the plaintiffs would be treated fair, or the victims or plaintiffs or accusers would be treated fair? So again, leave your comments below. Let me know what you think about all of this. I would love to hear your opinions. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up the video, subscribe to the channel, and share the video. God bless you all on today.